So we got CrunCher in the bottom left, the red human player. And then Ducks in the yellow. We got our ketchup and mustard colors today, and Ducks the mustard. It's going to be an interesting one. What do you expect? Do you expect the Crip Lord here, or do you think he's going to, mix it up and play standard on this map?
I think we might see him mix it up within the series. It's just whether or not he's going to go Crip Lord the first game. But I think we will definitely see Death Knight and Crip Lord within this best of 3. There we're going to see the Death Knight right away. But I will expect to see a Crip Lord the further we go in. And then CrunCher, Archmage, pretty standard as always.
So actually, recently, a lot of players have been playing MK on this map specifically to try to counter the Crip Lord play, because this is very similar to like a Tyrannistan or Echo Isles, because you have easy access to the Merc camp. So you can get a level 3 MK, and then you can use the Mercs for defense. And then the high level MK works really well against the Beetles with Clap, and then Clap plus Griffins against Undead very often is just the answer. But we're seeing CrunCher with the little bit more older strategy or Western style Archmage on this map right now, while the Chinese are doing the MK, and then Duck with the DK. I'm liking it.
Yeah, I like it. I like that he's sticking to his guns, sticking to what he's most comfortable with. And we see CrunCher with the Footman by the Merc camp. This means a pull. This means he's going to creep the Merc camp first and get that Shadow Priest early, which is pretty good for the potential Rada Necromancy skeleton harass that Duck is most likely going to do in the future. But Duck on the other end, probably just going to get skeletons here and go for this Troll Shadow Priest over here. And we'll see what both players are going to do. Will it be a fast expansion? Will it be a tech from CrunCher? Most likely a fast expansion here, Soul Glider.
Yeah, I think we already see some mistakes from Duck, though, is that if the human player goes for the early Merc camp, your Acolyte needs to be here to try to stop the pull, and then you also need to come harass and kill Peasants, which is why very often going for the Merc camp against DK isn't as good. But if you expect the Crip Lord, Merc camp first is the best play. But Duck just kind of looks like he just went for the very standard creep pattern, and he's getting punished for it already. And this is going to be an expansion. It's a very typical level 3 Merc camp expansion that you'll see against a Keeper, you'll see in Human Mirror, and I think it's already looking good for CrunCher.
Yeah, for sure. And we see Duck kind of getting owned there. The Footman pulled the Murloc camp to the Shadow Priest that Duck was trying to creep. And you see just how much damage he's taken on that Death Knight already. You expect to take a little bit, and he did get the replenishment potion from that to help a little bit with that damage, but this is a little bit more than you want to take on average. And here's the Militia pull for CrunCher to go right towards the expansion. He's got some pretty good items here. He's got the Devotion Aura, he's got the Gloves of Haste, and he's going to get the level 3 here in no time.
Yeah, being so hurt means that your harass is going to be really tough, although the replenishment potion, as you said, is going to be very helpful. He's going to be able to get back up to around 500 hit points. But when it's already a level 3 Archmage, the problem is it's hard to get any harass done. There's a Shadow Priest to dispel the skeletons, so I don't expect very many Peasants to go down during this harassment. And with the now double Gloves of Haste, it's going to be a lot of damage on those Fiends in that DK, so it's going to be tough for Duck.
Yeah, and CrunCher just continuing to creep, knows he has map control, knows Duck would already be here, and now he's coming along the long way here. He's got the Claws of Attack, he's going to maybe be able to get a couple of Peasants, but the Troll Shadow Priest healed up the low Peasants, and CrunCher sending another low one back and bringing in a healthy guy. So in the tower, going to get up. Very important for CrunCher here. The Fiend does a decent amount of damage to that tower. He's going to coil the Shadow Priest, but the Shadow Priest enough mana to dispel both those skeletons right now. And so far, really good defense from CrunCher.
Yeah, and CrunCher's pushing him away from the rest of the bodies to make sure that he can't spawn any more skeletons. There is one more sheep that he can kill and spawn a skeleton. He did pick up the Troll Berserker, but it's going to get caught in the back of the Merc camp and probably just instantly die here.
Wow. Yeah, not really worth it at all. At least he takes it away from CrunCher, but CrunCher right now not looking like he needs the extra defenses. He's really holding on. This tower does get canceled by the 2 Fiends that are in here now, and more skeletons are summoned, and there's not enough mana on that Shadow Priest. But right now, all the Peasants looking healthy, looking buff, looking bulk, and they're not really going down, and the Skeletons just feeding more and more experience to this already almost level 4 Archmage from CrunCher here.
Oh no, and he wasted a coil on a Peasant that he thought he was going to guarantee the kill, and he didn't. He needs a little bit more hit math in his head when it comes to these coils and Fiend damage.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, you know, Happy also does that very often. The last Fiend shot from Happy will kill whatever he's going after. So he never backs off, never wastes a coil. Whenever you have wasted mana like this and you're sitting on only 65 mana, like the Death Knight is, it's going to be hard to continue pushing. And if CrunCher wants to come and start to harass Duck's creeping to delay the Death Knight level 3, which is kind of key in this matchup, then he's going to be able to do that very easily. There's only going to be one coil available.
Absolutely, yeah. We saw Duck go for the Ritual Dagger, used one charge to heal up his Fiends and his Death Knight, then sold the rest. He's going into Tier 3, getting his Lich and his Slaughterhouse. So we could see some sort of a Tier 3 Pit Lord Rain of Fire push here, but it's kind of hard when you don't kill any Peasants early. The tech is going to be so quick for CrunCher. We see that already coming through right now. He's got a lot of Peasants for future Militia to pull, and the Archmage is now level 4 with a Mantle of Intelligence, a Circlet. Archmage is looking buff right now.
Yeah, so talking about tech timing, CrunCher's tech timing was actually slightly late, and I'm curious if he was just over microing and under macroing, or if he forgot to tech. Because usually you want to tech at the 5 dot mark or before. Sometimes if you lose 0 Peasants, you can actually tech at the 4 dots, but he teched on 6 dots, which is considered slightly late in this matchup when it comes to Pit Lord push timings. However, CrunCher favors very heavy Sim City and a decent amount of towers. That tech timing isn't as important for him to get the the perfect timing for third hero, breakers, knights, gyrocopters, and defense.
Yeah, definitely doesn't need to worry about that timing too much. When he's killing a Fiend here on the Creep Jack of the expansion, put a lot of damage on that Death Knight. The Lich is splitting off into no man's land right now, but there's no boots on the Archmage, not a lot of catch, and there is Nova to try to slow down those footmen, but still a lot of damage taken for Duck, and he's pushed yet again back into his main base, back into his hidey hole, and what is he going to do right now? Like you said, the Sim City, pretty much perfect for CrunCher here. He's got almost a 3rd tower up, a 4th one in construction, some more in the main base, and this Mountain King is going to be out in no time, and CrunCher just continues to creep. Might even see a retrain into Blizzard pretty soon here.
This is actually pretty crazy. We might see a level 5 Archmage before a level 2 MK, which means like CrunCher got a lot of creeping done early, killing and then also killing the Fiends and kind of taking full control of the map. I don't think I've ever seen this. Very often the human can be stuck on level 2 and then barely level 3 Archmage and then with a level 1 MK. So this is kind of snowballing a little bit out of control for Duck, and I don't know how he's going to be able to claw his way back into the game.
Yeah, do you think he can still pull off that Pit Lord timing we're talking about, or do you think with this pressure from CrunCher here, Duck really has to change up his strategy, maybe a counter expansion, something a bit different?
Counter expansion's really hard when there's almost an Archmage level 5. There's going to be an Archmage level 5 very quickly. So whenever you leave the expansion, there's going to be these level 3 Water Torrents that are going to come in and cancel it. There's always going to be Footman Scouts. Because, I mean, he still has a lot of Footmen alive. Like, not a lot of Footmen have died, which is also something you want to get done as the Undead player. So I think really the best way to come back in is probably still with the Pit Lord push and try to maybe get an Archmage kill. The Paladin is going to be a little late, although we are 25% of the way into Tier 3. But there's always a chance with the level 3 DK and a level 2, maybe he can get level 3 Lich, that you can nuke an Archmage.
Yeah, for sure. And we see Duck going down to the Goblin Laboratory, but going to be scouted by this nice farm of CrunCher. So he wanted to steal a little bit of creeps from CrunCher's side of the map, but he's going to be scouted, and CrunCher's going to come in for the Creep Jack. But, maybe with this Creep Jack, he can catch out that Archmage, but a big heal on the Archmage as well. Not really going to be able to do much about that. The Priest going down to a nice Nova, but there is Mountain King Stormbolt on the Fiend. A lot of damage taken, coiling it, but can he get out? He got the Wand of the Wind, could use that to try to Cyclone the Mountain King and get out of here, but there's going to be a lot of Fiends going down. There's a Cyclone, one Fiend going down, and the Death Knight's still stuck on this high ground here. Could maybe buy a Zeppelin try to get out, but this is not the fight the Duck wants. Another Fiend going to go down.
There's still one more Stormbolt, which could mean another Fiend kill, and this is the problem when you don't do enough damage early and the Archmage gets kind of out of control. And the Death Knight actually getting very close, 78, 22, 8 HP and GG. Wow.
Domination. Okay. Unbelievable.
Whew.
That early snowball. Yikes.
Yeah. Exactly. That early snowball. I have rarely seen a level 4 Archmage against a level 2 DK, guys.
I don't know the last time I've ever seen that situation occur. You have to punish the Merc Camp creep. You just have to. If you're going to go DK and you don't punish the Merc Camp creep, human is very far ahead, I would say.
Yeah, I would think so too. Sometimes on maps like Northern Isles, we see a kind of modern approach by Undead to creep level 2 first, gather a gang of skeletons, and then push. Carson, was that the approach that he wanted to move on to Last Refuge, but that failed?
Yeah, I think so, and that footy pull on the Murlocs really slowed Duck down there. Like, I think he wanted to just creep that Priest, didn't actually want to go for just a straight level 2 creep, taking both greens. Maybe you ideally just want to take that first Priest, go straight over to the expansion, and then maybe have the Acolyte ready, like Soul Glider pointed out, to sort of block the Militia, to stop the Merc Camp creep, to scout what is going on. Is he going for a fast level 3? When is he going for that expansion? But I think that Footman pull onto the Death Knight really gave CrunCher so much space, and Duck could never recover there.
Yeah, and he wasted so much money on the Berserker as well. I'm not even sure if that was worth it, Soul Glider. What do you think? You have Fiends. You got enough piercing damage as an undead. Is that worth it to take it away from the human?
I think it is worth it if it can get out, because the thing is, if the human gets the Berserker at the early moment, then you're never going to get any damage off. I mean, the fact that the Merc Camp got crept cleanly anyway already spells doom for the undead's harass because of the Shadow Priest potential, and there was good positioning on the Shadow Priest to instantly dispel 2 of the skeletons. But then if there's also a Berserker in the mix, and it's a level 3 Archmage, like there's too much range damage for your skeletons to ever even get any auto attacks off. So you're trying to steal it, which actually happens on TS as well, is that they try to steal the Berserker from you so your defense is weaker rather than the push being stronger.
Oh, I see. All right, yeah. That all didn't really work out. The timing's not working out for Duck. The push didn't really work out for Duck and CrunCher. Just 100% serious mode. Like, we see him fool around on his stream. Like, I think he played against Bidu with like 50% or something last week when I saw that correct. Did he lose a unit?
I think he lost a footman or 2, but he was never behind.
Okay, okay. All right. Yeah, Duck, by the way, he had a little thingy there. He got his wisdom teeth removed recently, and he just said, I never played after I got that surgery. So much pain. So, yeah, maybe not the greatest time for the DreamHack summer, but why did you get that surgery in front of your games, Duck? Maybe not the best timing.
A little bit unfortunate, but you got to roll with the punches. He's here, he's playing, he's got another shot if he doesn't make it through here, but he's got, potentially 2 more games to make his way through this best of 3 here.
Exactly. Or will we get another 2-0? We saw that yesterday with Hitman 2-0, Kiwikaki 2-0. These favorites seem to prevail. We do all love the American dream, the underdog stories, but so far we're not getting it. But what we get is map number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We get CrunCher versus Doug. Can he finally show up? Can he flex his muscles like he does on the picture? It's Echo Isles, and we're loading it. Oh, damn it. Whoopsie, kind of fucked that up, but we're getting there. In the upper left, 1-0 down. In the yellow, we got Duck. And in the right, we got CrunCher. Oh boy, I butchered that. I hope you do a better job on the cast than I did at this production piece.
Sure, nobody minds, Neo. I'm sure nobody minds at all. And Soul Glider, we got an interesting strategy. Out of Duck here. Is this a Cryptlord Fiend opener, possibly?
It is the Lord of Chill. He's he's ready to take control of the Echo Isles, chill on the beach, have some skeletons, create a party of beetles, and make the Archmage run around with his head cut off. Actually, it's not an Archmage. It is a Mountain King.
The good old Mountain Kingaroo, and you did point out last game this is very strong. You mentioned the Griffins, the Mountain King level 5 with that Clap level 3 against that massive summons. And we'll see if CrunCher's able to pull it off. Echo Isle's a very good map for it. Probably going to see him go for this mercenary camp right away. Try to get that level 3 with that expansion early on. We already see a scout tower going up for CrunCher, so if there is any sort of harass, we'll be able to put a stop to that. But we're going to see right now, will it be the Cryptlord or will it be something we'll both be surprised about?
Maybe a Dreadlord.
Dreadlord.
That would be cool. Haven't seen that in forever. No, no. It's the Crypt Lord. Okay. It's actually Crypt Lord early Fiends. So sometimes there's Crypt Lord with ghouls, and then you try to do like a ghoul run by like after the expansion when the human comes to harass you, and you guys kind of trade off expansions and see who can take the least amount of damage. But going straight into Fiends is the most defensive and has the strongest mid game, in my opinion, which is good on Echo Isles when there's the two contested camps in the middle. Let the MK get them, he's going to get to 5 a little too quick. If the Crypt Lord gets them, he's going to get to 5. So it's kind of a race for levels on the map with these two heroes, because we're going to see the MK playing defensive, I think, and the Crypt Lord will try to get damage done, but once the MK has that level 2 clap, that beautiful, beautiful clap, Beetles are not going to be as effective anymore.
So for Duck here, this is more about early aggression into sort of a later expansion, you think? Or do you think Duck will go for a much earlier expansion?
A player's forces are under attack.
I think it's going to be creep 2 spots and then go expand, but, you know, maybe Duck has something else, you know, in mind. For the human player, it's always the Merc camp into the small green into the expansion creep, which gives you that nice, juicy level 3. And there already is a pendant of Imba on the Mountain King, giving him that extra mana, which is 1 extra clap, which is really, really strong. So I'm already liking the items from this MK.
Yeah, a lot of mana, a lot of claps, a lot of damage, and there is a marketplace on Echo Isles, so could see more future Penance of Energy, and we're going to see CrunCher go for this level 3, pull in the 5 Militia, going to get this expansion up. Duck, on the other hand, like you pointed out, the 2 greens, going to get level 2, and then we'll see if does he go down or does he go to the right. Nice little block on the Footman. Going to secure himself the first blood of this match, but CrunCher happily just creeping away, happy to lose that Footman. Duck going to get his level 2 and does have a sacrificial skull, so expansion, like you point out, with the Acolyte to the south. Maybe try to creep himself up to level 3 and go with all those beetles and try and deal some damage to this expansion, but CrunCher is already ready for it, already running it all the way across.
Yeah, so this is the advantage of the Fiend build against MK, is that you can split the Fiends and the claps aren't going to be as much damage, but potentially he held on to the level 3 skill, and if he sees Fiends, I would like to see that it was level 2 Stormbolt instead and just focus down Fiends. So yeah, but this timing is rough because the MK is already here when you start the expansion. When you creep 2 spots first, the human's going to get here as you start the creep. It is level 2 clap, and he is focusing down the Fiends. 1 Fiend is very, very low, but I think it's going to be hard for him to chase it down. He does bolt it, which is using a lot of his mana, but luckily he's got that Pendant of Energy.
Oh, big claps, and this is 2 Fiends going down. That's all the mana gone for the Mountain King, but these creeps are still not finished for Duck. He's forced to pull all of his ghouls from the main, and that means no lumber economy, and there's not an Impale right now, so no chance of a surround on that Mountain King. And the Priest is going to deal with some of those summons, but is now out of mana, but Duck really has to finish off the remainder of these Troll Trappers here and get his expansion up. His Ziggurat is finishing, so that means an Erubian, but on the other end, CrunCher's expansion is going to be done in 20 seconds.
Yeah, CrunCher is already feeling pretty far ahead here, and he can also just save up Footman, wait for Duck to place down the gold mine, dive it, and get it canceled. So kind of the goal is to try to get 1 to 2 cancels on the gold mine against the Crypt Lord, so you can have a better economy, you have better tech, so you're going to have better second heroes, and you need to buy time for Griffins, because against this kind of Mountain King tier 3 Griffin army, it takes a long time for you to kind of get critical mass together. So there's always a timing where the undead can push your expansion with something like 60 pop Fiends, and it's going to be hard to hold. And he does get the first cancel, which is very, very good. He's trying to buy time. He's trying to delay.
Yeah, the Spirit Tower from Duck, a little bit of an interesting choice. I'm not sure if I agree, but going for that Necropolis a little bit low on lumber right now, especially with having to pull those ghouls over and over. He's only got 1 mining at home right now, and still yet to even build that gold mine. This is what you're talking about. He's got to delay that economy of Duck. In the meantime, he's getting a shop up. That means more mana for, means clarities for more mana, for more claps, for more damage, for more cancels on this expansion that's now being rebuilt by Duck. But with losing those 2 Fiends, he just doesn't have the army to defend if CrunCher just decides to run on over.
Yeah, and I like the fast Arcane Vault before tech, so he can get more mana, heal up all his Footmen, and go and dive again. So he can go and dive the gold mine 1 more time, get the cancel, and it's really going to be a tough position for Duck at that point because the economy is just going to be so far behind. CrunCher's already started his tier 2 tech, and this is not what you want to see this matchup at all. Usually you want to be on equal tech, or even the undead should be on faster tech than the human player.
Oh no, these fiends are low and there's no death coil here, no aura to run away, but CrunCher smartly just going in for the cancel. He's got his Mountain King here with a big clap, and he's got more where that came from. And the Berserker gonna focus down this fiend, and that's GG. And we thought it might be a close game, but CrunCher just absolutely dominating Dark.